Morning, Facebook. How are the people in the Book of Face doing today? I hope everybody's having a good Friday. Finally. I'm excited for the weekend. I know I normally do these on Thursdays. We had some snafus happening yesterday. It's been kind of a week. Like, it's been crazy around here. Hello, Facebook. So I have a lot of news today, and I have some tips. I get a lot of people that message the page asking for, like, author tips or info about this, that, or the other, and it's great. I totally don't mind helping, so I'm going to talk about a couple things today. Hi, Katie's here. Okay, so Katie Robinson is in the chat, and if you don't know Katie, you're going to want to remember her name because she just released her first book called Golden, which is fantastic, you guys. So she sent me an ARC because one of the best perks of being an author is that you get to read books from your other favorite authors, and you get to read, like, books before they're out and all kinds of fun stuff. So if you're a reader, being an author is great because you get all kinds of fun freebies. Hi, Connie! She says she can't wait to hear the news, and I can't wait to give it to you, Connie, because it's fantastic. I'm going to get to that probably last, so you're going to stick around. But I wanted to give a shout out to Golden because it released last week. I want to say last week. It is fabulous. If you've ever, like, if you're a fan of fairy tale retellings, which I am anyway, it's a Goldilocks retelling, but it's like a YA dystopian Goldilocks retelling. It's really fabulous. You guys are going to love it. Katie blushes. I love you, Katie. Not only is Katie an amazing person, but she's very talented. I couldn't believe reading it that it was a debut. Sometimes authors, you know, we release our first books and they're not quite as strong as our later books will be. Inevitably, the first book you write is never going to be your best, but hers is fabulous. Oh, releases March 28th, so it's on pre-order, so I got it before you guys did. Suckers! I thought it was already out. Nice. So if you are interested, go grab it on Amazon. Golden, K.M. Robinson. It's fabulous. You guys are going to love it. Elsha says Katie's amazing. She is. She's fabulous. Hi, Lauren. Good morning. Lauren's here in the chat room with us. You guys are so cool. I love you guys all bouncing around this morning. So I'm going to go ahead and drop my news now because I know you guys are dying, just like I'm dying to tell you guys because I can't handle it. So this week, we finally signed the contracts on the Canary Club novel, which is the full-length novel, and it's going to be 2 full-length novels. So there's 3 short prequels that lead into the first full-length novel, and then there'll be a second one later down the road. Asha says yes. And I signed the contracts today with Clean Teen Publishing, who I've worked with before. They did my Queen series, the Queen of Someday, Queen of Tomorrow, and Queen of Always. And they are going to do another historical with me. They're going to do the Canary Club. I'm so excited, you guys. So the cover artist from Clean Teen actually did the covers for the shorts. We love her so much that we hired her out to do those. And so now they're going to have the whole series, which is going to be fabulous. You guys are going to love it. I cannot wait to get it all to you guys. The Canary Club is, you'll see a lot of the characters from the shorts in the Canary Club. The Canary Club is Benny and Macy's story. You haven't met Benny yet. You will meet Benny in the 3rd short. So right now we have Macy and we have June, and then you'll get Dickie's story, and you'll get introduced to Benny through Dickie's story, and then we'll roll into the full-length novel, which is very much Benny and Macy's stories. Connie says she loves Clean Teen. They're awesome. I have to tell you, I have worked with a lot of publishers over the years, and even for Canary, we had a couple interesting offers come in that, you know, in talking to some of the editors, I didn't feel like they were a great home for the Canary Club. They didn't, it's not even that they didn't quite get what I was going for, but it's a case of, you know, the offer came with a, we love this, but we want to change this. Or we love this character, but we want to change the voice. And realistically, I feel like I'm at a point where I can kind of sit back objectively and be like, that's not going to happen. Oh, Lauren, she has to go get her little list from kindergarten. Okay. Love you, Lauren. So Clean Teen Publishing, be on the lookout for that. It should be out this year, you guys. It should be out at the end of 2017. So you guys won't have to wait very long. So you'll get one more short, and then you'll get the first full novel this year, which I'm so stoked. You guys are going to love it. You guys are going to love Canary Club. Are any of you guys watching Zelda on Amazon Prime? It's so good. Christina Ricci's amazing. And I was so glad that it came out. I had actually written Canary like way before it came out, but I was so glad to see it. It's always so validating when you write a story and then you see other things in the same genre that are becoming really popular because you know there's an audience, there's people that love it. Kitty says, yay, she wants an arc when they're ready. Of course you'll get an arc when you're ready. You're an author now, Kitty, you get arcs. Arcs are fabulous. It's so funny. Literally, I think I get books in my email or in the mail weekly, just from other authors, either that I know or that that are new to me, that are looking for someone to give them a recommend. And it's interesting because as authors, we're really not supposed to review books. Like if I leave a review on Amazon, Amazon will pull it down and spank me. Like they'll send me a nasty email about it, just because it's they're saying that it's and I forget the term that they used in the email, but basically they were like, you can't do this. It's competition. It's a no-no for authors to leave reviews. And I feel like that's kind of the case all over the place. I have a Goodreads author account. I will go in and I will upload my books. I will answer fan questions when they ask them, but for the most part I stay off of it. I don't review a lot on Goodreads, especially anymore now that I've put out several books. Authors should not be reviewing books, just because, personal opinion, it does smack of, oh, well, she's only reviewing because that's her friend, or they're exchanging reviews, which I think is kind of shady anyway. Like, I really hate it when an author comes to me and is like, hey, I'll review your book if you review my book. I feel like that's really shady. If I love a book, I'm going to pimp it on my social media. I'm going to tell you guys I love it, but I'm not going to go to Amazon and leave a review because it's, I don't know, it's one of those weird things. When you're an author, you're considered like an industry professional, so leaving a review isn't just leaving a review. Leaving a review is either an endorsement of another book, or it's tearing another book down, especially if you don't like a book. If you leave a bad review as an author, you are going to get hell on the back end of that, because it's never going to be objective in other people's eyes. It's always going to be like, oh, she's just jealous, or whatever the case may be. And I've seen a lot of authors that have done that have gone and left unfavorable reviews on books they genuinely didn't like, and then gotten, attacked by that other author's fans or that other author personally, and it's become a huge, nasty battle. So my advice, just as an author, you want to leave the reviews, you want to love the reviews, do it on your social media. If you want to pimp out a book that you read and loved, do it on your social media, but don't leave official reviews on places. I feel like that's just a bad idea. And if you don't like a book, you're almost always better to just say nothing than to leave a bad review. Connie says when she saw the previews for Zelda, she immediately thought of Canary Club. Me too. I was like, that's fabulous. As a matter of fact, Zelda Fitzgerald makes an appearance in the Canary Club briefly. I had written her in, again, long before the show was even a flicker in the eye of anyone. So I thought that was funny. As one of the submissions, people were reading it, and they're like, it's Zelda! And I was like, yep, she's not there for long, but she's fun. Connie says, good point. It's tough. It's a tough business because authors love reading. That's why we write books, because we love reading books. So it's almost physically painful for me to like sit here and be like, I know that you want to review these books, but you really shouldn't be. It's just hard, especially books you don't like. I tend to like most books that I read. There's only been, I think, a handful of books ever that I've gotten into and either couldn't finish or just genuinely disliked for whatever reason. I am in a book club. I'm in a YA book club, and I will discuss, like, privately within my book club, stuff that I like or don't like about various books. And I will say also, being an author makes me a lot pickier about other people's writing. I can see flaws in other people's writing that I can't always see in my own. So it makes us harsher critics. And when we leave a critique on a book, it's basically a professional bashing another author, and it's wildly inappropriate. Let's see. Okay. So the two questions that I got this week from other authors were, 1, how do I set up my Amazon author account and why do I need one? And 2, how do I promote a new release that's not free or discounted? Great questions. So I'm going to tackle the Amazon author one first because it's fairly easy. The reason you want to claim your Amazon author account, twofold. 1, your author name is your brand, and there are inevitably going to be, depending on your name, other people using the name. So before you publish your first book even, get on Amazon, see who else has your name, because you may need to do something else. It sounds terrible that you can't publish under your own name all the time, but if you have a name that's A, fairly generic, or if your name is Nora Roberts and you're not actually Nora Roberts, you cannot publish under that name. It is taken. You're going to have to figure something else out. So get onto Amazon author accounts, do a sweep, make sure somebody else isn't using your name, and then as soon as you have a name chosen, whether it's your real name or a pen name, claim it on Amazon so nobody else can jump in and steal it out from under you. That actually happened to a friend of mine who had been writing under her name, her actual name, for years, only to have another author come in and scoop it out from under her because she hadn't claimed all the accounts officially, and it became a huge mess, and this other author was writing something that she didn't write, and it became just a nightmare to where my friend had to actually rebrand herself completely from scratch. You don't want to have to do that. Claim all of your author accounts right away. Claim your domain name right away. So my website, sherryficklin.com. Super easy. You can't always do that. Sometimes those are taken. Claim your domain name right away. Get on it. Even if you're not setting up a website yet, claim your domain. It's cheap. It's like $7 a year. Get it under wraps. You're going to want it. The Amazon author account is specifically important because when people follow an author on Amazon, so if you open up an Amazon author account, underneath that author picture it'll say follow. If you follow an author on Amazon, or even if you just buy books from an author on Amazon regularly, Amazon will populate that into an email list. So you will get an email anytime that author releases something new. As an author, that's invaluable. I think I have somewhere over like 300 people that have followed me on my Amazon author account, and every time I release a new book on Amazon, Amazon sends a notice to everybody that has followed me with an advertisement for my book. That is advertisement that you cannot buy. Nobody in the book world trusts an email resource the way they trust Amazon Direct. So if Amazon is directly promoting your books, you want that to happen. So claim your Amazon author accounts. If you're not sure how to do that, literally just Google Amazon author accounts and you'll get all the steps. And it's super easy. You'll log in with your existing author account or your existing Amazon account, and it'll say, you know, set up my author account. You find any books that are yours on Amazon, tag your books into your author account. I don't think you can set up an author account until you have a book on Amazon, even if it's only on pre-order. You have to have a book listed. So keep that in mind also, that as soon as you have your first book listed on Amazon, go in and claim your author account as soon as possible. And then promote that Amazon account. Promote it on your social media, promote it on your websites. Get people to sign up for you there, because again, that is going to be an advertisement that is free that Amazon is going to do for you. You just can't buy that kind of advertisement as an author. Hi, Kathy Lynn. Kathy Lynn is here. She says, oh, emoji. I'm not sure what I did to deserve that, Kathy, but thanks. Kathy Lynn and I are going to be together at Authorpalooza in Mesquite, April 8th. If you guys want to come down and see us, we're going to have all the books. It's going to be fabulous. We're going to have a great time. There's an author meet and greet cocktail hour Saturday after the signing. Join us. It'll be great. We're gonna have a blast. We're gonna have a great time. If you've never hung out with me at a convention before, I am super, super, super like not like friendly. Like, I'm going to hug you. Just be aware that I'm a hugger, and I'm gonna take you, and we're gonna go and we're gonna have fun and do crazy things because that's how I roll. JC says hi. Hey, how's it going? Is it JC or Jackie? J-A-C-I? JC or Jackie? Jackie, maybe? I'm so bad with names. I wish I was better at that. I have that problem with books too. If I was reading, what was I reading last time? Six of Crows? No, it wasn't. It was, Carve the Mark. And I couldn't figure out anyone's names. So it literally just became like, whatever I thought the name was, and I would just make something up throughout the whole book. So when we did book club, Jackie. Okay, Jackie. Mwah, love Jackie. So when we were discussing in book club, I'd be like, and this character A, what's her bucket? And they're like, bad with names. Oh, okay. Oh, and if you guys are curious what my book club is reading this month, we are reading Winter Song, which is a Labyrinth retelling, which seems really cool. So we picked that for this month. So this is going to be this month. This is our March book pick. If you guys want to read along with us, it's really fun. Connie says, LOL, I've totally flubbed character names before. All the time. I am worse than Avril Lavigne announcing Grammy winners. I am incapable of pronouncing names correctly. It is terrible. I have a problem. And I also have a problem remembering names. I remember faces really well. Names are hard for me. So I love conventions where everybody's wearing a badge or a name tag, Because I could be like, hey, you, Connie. Kathy Lynn's laughing at me. It's a, like, I've heard that it's like a genuine, like, I was going to say brain disease, but that sounds wrong. She says names are hard. Yeah. It's like a genuine affliction. It's terrible. It's hard. Okay, so that brings me to the second thing that I wanted to talk about really quick, which is advertising a new release that is not free or discounted. The reason you'll see a lot of times authors that release a book and it'll be at 99 cents or free is because it is so much easier to get ads and get promotions on a book that is free or discounted. So a lot of times we'll use it, first book, as a loss leader to sell a series. So if we've got a book that's going to be a 3-part series, we'll make the first book super cheap or free in order to get people to buy the rest of the series at regular price. It's a way, particularly for authors that don't have a really solid, huge fan base already, to get the word out about their books. It's impossible to get those advertisements on a book that's regular priced. That sounds terrible, but it's absolutely true. Most of the advertising places that will accept a book require it to be free or discounted because they send it out to their list and their list won't buy it if it's not free or discounted, and then it just knocks down their numbers. So Helen says she has the same problem with names. Can you tell I'm not awake yet? I can, Helen. It's all good. I know I'm broadcasting early this morning, which is a little crazy. I just put the kids on the bus. My advice to you, if you are advertising a book that is not free or discounted and it's the first book of a series, get with a really good book tour company. Explain to them what you need. Explain to them that you don't just want to tour, but you want these promotions. See if they can help you set up a release party. Bring in other authors in your genre to co-promote with you. Do a big build-up for your book that is not going to cost you a fortune, but is going to still get eyes on the page. That's what it's all about, eyes on the page. And discoverability is hard when your book is not free or discounted. So if you've got a book that's $2.99 or higher releasing, spend the money, get with a good tour company, have them help you out, get with a good marketing or PR place. If you need some recommendations, like I can always help you with recommendations, or you can go into the Author Resources Network on Facebook, which is just a private group. Just join it. Like Marie Force is on there, and she's a big New York Times bestseller, giving advice all the time. We share links, we share tour companies we've worked with, we share, you know, the good and bad of everything. So if you guys are ever curious or have questions, that's a really great resource for you. Kathy Lynn says she's bummed because CreateSpace won't allow her to drop the price or set it for free on the first book until she uploads the second book. Are you talking about CreateSpace? Are you using CreateSpace for your print or for your ebooks? That's interesting. I don't use CreateSpace for ebooks even when I'm self-publishing. I will almost always use Smashwords instead because you can. You can list it for free on Smashwords. Kathy says both. Yeah, check into Smashwords, check into a couple other places. You might be better off to do a different ebook distributor than you use for print. They'll still link up. Don't worry about that. It will still all link together. But yeah, I would check someone else out. Jackie says, yeah, use Smashwords. And there's a couple alternatives to Smashwords too that you can use. Smashwords is my favorite. Smashwords will distribute your ebooks to places like iBooks and Kobo and Barnes & Noble and Overdrive and all of those great places. And all you have to do is upload it once. Super easy to work with. They're great. June says CreateSpace uploads to KDP. Yeah, and but doesn't Smashwords upload to KDP too? Can't you opt into Smashwords on, or not to KDP through Smashwords? Like, I feel like you can. I feel like, so Smashwords will also disseminate to Amazon if you set it to, or you can go to Amazon directly yourself, which is just as easy. Yeah, Smashwords does too. Yeah, so I would check out Smashwords. They're a little easier. June said something and I can't super stealth. I can't. But always use Amazon KDP. Super. I don't know. I don't know what you're trying to say here, June. I can't understand the words that are coming out of your mouth. It's too early. Go have a cup of coffee. Get back with me after. We should talk about Amazon KDP one day. So for those of you that don't know the difference, so Amazon has Amazon KDP, which is their Kindle Direct Publishing, which is great, and then they have KU, which is differently. Oh yeah, June says use Amazon separately. Yeah, absolutely. You'll make more if you use Amazon separately. Smashwords doesn't have to take a cut of that. Kathy Lynn, words are hard. Words are hard. It's early for words. Words are super hard. And the other nice thing about Smashwords, which I just realized recently, is that Smashwords will let you upload a book and put it on pre-order, an ebook, up to a year before it releases, which is crazy because Amazon will only let you do 3 months. So, but this way you can get into like the iBook store and stuff so much earlier and start getting those early reviews, which is great. Another really good thing you can do if you have a book that's about to release that's not going to be free or discounted, but you want to try and get some early reviews, use a NetGalley listing. NetGalley's spendy. If you go for like the full 6 month, I want to say it's $400 for a 6 month listing on NetGalley. But you can go to other places that do like NetGalley co-ops, so you can do like a month or 3 months and pay only a portion of that, which is so much easier. And it's a great way to get reviews early on. It works better for some genres than others, but I mean, for sure, check it out. I will say they're super cover picky. So if you've got a not super great cover, you're not going to get a ton of reviews on NetGalley. They're super picky. Jan wants to know what my thoughts are on Kindle Scout. I read some good ones through there. Yeah, it's okay. It depends on what you're trying to do with your book. I feel like it's very similar to like, and now I'm trying to think of that place where you can list your books for free and let people read it, and I can't off the top of my head. June, you know what I'm talking about. That, oh goodness, we've both listed books there before and I can't even think about it off the top of my head. It's just different. It's just a different ballgame. Kindle has so many options for authors depending on what you want to do. They have Kindle Worlds. If you want to write Wattpad, thank you, Jan. June, Wattpad. Yes, thank you guys. I totally barfed on the name this morning. Fork me. So, Wattpad, Connie, yes. Very similar. It's a discovery platform. The only issue that I have with it is people who use those types of platforms consistently tend to leave nasty reviews if the next book isn't free or if they can't read the whole thing for free. So if you put up a sample of your book, even if you say, hey, this is just a sample, it's just the first 3 chapters or whatever, people are going to be like pissed. Like they do not want to pay for a book. So I found that those sort of free places like Wattpad are not the best places to advertise a book that you're going to be charging for because they do not like to pay for books and they will leave you shitty reviews. That sounds terrible, but it's true. And not everybody's that way, obviously, but a lot of people are. They really expect you to keep the whole series for free on Wattpad, and it's impossible for an author to do anything that way. However, if you are looking for a publishing house, Wattpad can be a great place to be discovered. I wouldn't necessarily upload everything, but I've seen lots of publishers sign books off of Wattpad that have really good followings. So it's not a bad playground. I think Kindle Scout's the same. It's a decent playground if you're not looking to actually get paid for your stuff. Scout feels like a waste of time to me, June says. Yeah, and I understand that. Jackie says you pay for Starbucks, pay for an ebook. Preach. I feel the same way. But there is, and I think that particularly self-publishing has kind of created this whole subculture of readers that refuse to pay for books, because why pay for a book when you can go onto Wattpad and read whatever you want to for free, or you can pirate it from a weird site or whatever the case may be. It's hard. There's definitely a huge chunk of people that refuse to pay for books, and that's really, really hard. Connie says a friend of hers got a contract through Kindle Scout. Yeah, same thing. And Wattpad will do the same thing. There are publishers that troll those places looking for books that already have good readerships. And I have to tell you, it's not a terrible way to do it if you don't have an agent. If you're just looking to kind of break into the business, it's not a bad thing. Jan says, from a reader point of view, I like Kindle Scout as it has given me a chance to maybe feel like I have a voice on what I like. Yeah, I totally get that. Again, I feel like for readers, they're great. For authors, probably less so. Just because, we have to eat and we have to do those things. Jackie says, oh, those who pirates. I know. It's disheartening, but it's It's all part of the game. So I think that answered the question about promoting the books and art for your 99 cents. Did I answer that well enough for everybody? Does anybody have any other questions about that? If your book is for your 99 cents, shoot for a BookBub, shoot for a Robin Reads ad. Those are both really good ROIs. There's a little, so BookBub is spendy. Like a BookBub ad is a couple $100, spendy. Totally worth it. You will make that money back, guaranteed. If you get picked up for a BookBub, you will make your money back. Jen says, totally understandable. Yeah, it's, don't try for a BookBub if you only have one book out and it's free, because it's going to do you zero good. Wait till you have a couple books out in the series, then run your BookBub to drive sales to the other books. June says, with Scout, you really have to push it, and you have to have lots of friends to upvote it if it's good, but not so if you don't. Oh yeah, so if you have lots of people in your you know, surroundings that can help you push a book through Scout, that definitely helps you get, you know, bring up your chances of getting a scene and getting those nice contracts. It's definitely not, you know, the traditional way to be published, but it absolutely can work. I've seen it work, and I've seen it work on Wattpad too. So, I mean, however you guys want to do it, I'm sort of a non-judge. I feel like every book and every author's needs are different. So whatever you feel like is best for yours, like, give it a try. Go for it. I'm all for trying new things with your book and trying new things with publishing. And sometimes it works and sometimes it really doesn't. I had a book a couple years ago that I did, and instead of sending query letters to publishers, I made a query video, like, which is basically like a book trailer, but with, instead of like it had all the book info in it instead of just like teaser stuff, and I actually got a publisher with that. So it like a good publisher. So it, you know, sometimes thinking outside the box helps. Do it your way. Yeah, June says do it your way. Absolutely. And a book is very much like, you know, like your children. No one is ever going to know what's best for your kids better than you are. Same thing with your book. No one's ever going to know what's best for your book better than you are. So if you want to, you know, go try something new and take a risk, do it. If you want to go something very traditional, do that. It's going to be up to you, and at the end of the day, the only person you can really make happy is yourself. So make yourself happy. You know, give it a try. Do new things. Don't be afraid to play. It's more and more becoming a very flexible industry. I'm seeing more and more publishing houses that accept previously self-published work. I'm seeing more and more authors getting picked up from big publishers because they had a self-published ebook that did really well, or because they had a Wattpad story that did really well, or whatever the case. I've seen a lot of people get agents off of Wattpad and Kindle Scout. I've seen a lot of that kind of stuff happening. I've seen a lot of people get really good deals off of the Twitter, like, Pit Madness, like the pitching stuff that they do on Twitter. I've seen a lot of good stuff come through that, so don't be afraid to try something new. June says, don't be afraid of failure. Yeah, everybody fails in this industry at least once. If you've never failed in this industry, you're not playing hard enough. So give it a shot. I want to say really quick too, it's always interesting for me to see authors who have a lot of success right out of the gate, because there's sort of a little bit of a disconnect between like what they have seen and what their experiences are versus those of us that have been in the trenches a little bit longer. And it's interesting then to see how they react when things suddenly don't necessarily go the way they hoped that it would. And as someone who's been through like the School of Hard Knocks in every possible aspect of publishing, I can kind of sit back and on one hand, like, I feel really bad, but on the other hand, I'm like, everybody has to fail at some point. Like, it sounds terrible, but it's totally the case. Don't get down on yourself. Jackie says she knows someone like that. Yeah, but you know, don't get down on yourself. Everybody fails in this industry once, at least once. Some of us many, many more times. So understand that there are going to be bumps, and not everything is going to be always as smooth as maybe you think it will be because your first experience was smooth. It happens. Publishers close, distributors fail, channels break down. It's impossible to please everyone all the time. The only person you can please is yourself. So do your best, roll with the punches. I'm kind of at that point now where when something really screws up, I kind of immediately jump into like damage control mode. So, like, we had one of my books released really early on Amazon, and the only problem with that is it kind of hoses you for, like, bestsellers lists and stuff, but you kind of have to roll with it. Like, you kind of have to be like, so it was one of my hacker books that had released really early, and it, like, hosed me for listing, but then I was like, so then we did, like, this thing about how, you know, oh, Amazon was hacked, and we got the new hacker book, and we kind of rolled it into a promotional thing. You have to be able to do that. You have to be able to roll with the punches in this industry, because they are coming. Life is, yeah, Jan says life is not all rainbows and sunshine. Absolutely true. And if you cannot roll with those punches, you're just going to get beat down. It's hard, but it's true. Kathy says, or you lose your way. Yes, shit happens, deal. Thank you, June. Yep, absolutely true. And the way you react to things that happen like that is going to be the message that you're sending to your audience. So if you can respond with positivity instead of negativity, if you can take things with a grain of salt, your fans will too. June says, don't publicly bitch, it's bad. Yeah, complaining on social media is bad in general. If you have a negative public persona, or if people see you like ranting and being just kind of negative all the time, nobody wants that in their lives. Like, we have enough negativity from other places. So it's at the end of the day, it's detrimental to you and to your author brand to be negative online. Not to mention the fact that you might piss off agents and publishers and whoever else might be looking at you. So as a rule, you know, try and keep your chin up. A very, very worst case scenario, it's always better to say nothing than to say something negative. So Kathy Lynn says she bought a new map, new adventure. You bought a map? Like, do people use maps anymore? My dog ate a map the other day that he found in like a storage bin, but I didn't cry over it. Jackie says, haha, what about the bloggers trying to take the authors down? I don't get in the mix of that. Let me be real with you. I do not mess with bloggers. Bloggers are in every way as much a community as authors are. And if you piss off one, you have pissed off all of them. It's, no, I have a lot of respect for bloggers. They do this in their free time. They don't get paid for it. I mean, authors, at least, we get paid for our work. Bloggers are out there doing it for free. I have mad respect for bloggers. But, you know, at the end of the day, again, if you don't have something nice to say, come sit by me and we'll whisper about it quietly, not on Facebook. Oh, Kathy Lynn Cross. Yeah, right. No, it's true. And you know, again, the problem is that an author says something to a non-author or even to another author, and it's a professional criticism, and it's taken as such. So you have to be super careful. June says, mind your P's and Q's, period. Always good. Always good. You know, just be smart about what you're putting out there. Be smart about your brand at all times. And yeah, negativity will get you absolutely zero places in this industry. Helen says good advice in general. Yeah, it is. It is. You just have to be able to shake off the bad stuff. And that's, you know, in life, not just in publishing, but particularly, don't be a dick online. It's not that hard. Shelley says, speaking of the Hacker series, you know, in the next book is set to come out later this year. Yeah, book 4 should be out later this year. I actually started on the 4th book earlier this year. Nearly finished. I'll hand it off to my publisher. Luckily, because it's the next in a series and not the beginning of a series, so it'll have less of a gap. When you start a new series with a publisher, because it has to go through a lot of different things, it takes about 7 to 8 months to get it onto the shelf. But when it's a sequel in a series, they can get it out a lot faster. So yeah, you should see that this year, which will be a lot of fun. Book 4, Terminal Override. Big things happening. All kinds of big things. I know I left you guys on a cliffhanger, and I'm not even sorry. I'm not even sorry. Jackie says, will it be out before Ozarks? I don't know yet. Hopefully it'll be out before Ozarks. June says, we learned by screwing up, so listen to us, it will save you trouble. Very true. Yeah, and, you know, the problem is you don't want to have to go through that to learn, so take our advice. Just be positive, roll with the punches. What is it that the doctor always says? Hold tight and pretend like it's a plan. I think that's my favorite. Just hold tight and pretend like it's a plan. Katie says your cliffhangers are mean, but so good. Yeah. I try really hard not to leave, like, ridiculous cliffhangers, but it's bound to happen. Jan says, I just started doing more Bookstagram photos, so I'm going to have to look for some good props for that book. Oh, yes. It's funny, I'm always like going to the craft store, and it's so hard to find good like hacker themed crap. I found a lot on Amazon, but it's hard to find good stuff to do like photos with, and I'm bad about that anyway. I love Bookstagram. It's such a time suck for me. Like, I don't know how people have time to I understand now why a lot of Bookstagrammers get paid to do what they do, because it's so much time that goes into creating those, and it's art. It's book art is what it is. And I have like mad respect for people that can do it, because I don't have the time or the energy or the creativity to do that. I have outlets elsewhere. June is out. Have fun. Mwah. Love you, June. Have fun. So I think that's it. So Canary Club later this year with Clean Teen Publishing. You guys are gonna die. It's a fabulous book, and I'm really excited that it's with, you know, a publishing house that I know and I trust, and I feel really good about that. It's been a little scary, I'm not going to lie, this process of, you know, having an agent and trying to go to the bigger publishers, and it's, I don't know, it's weird. I don't know, it's not my bag. I've decided I don't think I'm ever going to try that again. I really don't like the slowness. I'm not the most patient person in the world. Go figure. And so you know, the sheer lack of speed absolutely kills me. We had an editor that had Canary in November. Like, we had sent it way before that, but like in November we were like, hey, you know, have you gotten a chance to look at Canary yet? And she was like, oh yeah, I'm starting it right away. And then we sent her the, oh, you know, hey, we've got this offer on the table that we're looking at taking, you know, you've got a couple days to respond. And it was basically like, oh yeah, I haven't even picked that up yet. And I'm like, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Like 4 months later, are you kidding me? I get it, you're busy, but so am I. And I don't have time for slow. Slow bugs me. Katie, oh crap, Katie said something about stylizing the hacker stuff and I lost it. It scrolled through too fast. Katie is a Bookstagrammer. Katie is a brilliant Bookstagrammer, and she does a killer job. She does some of my books and some of other people's books, and she's really cool. Jan says check her out on Bookstagram and leave some feedback at Tweety Bugs House. I love it. Okay. At Tweety Bugs House? Not Tweety Bird's House, Jan? Tweety Bugs House? Okay, Tweety Bugs House. There you go. And if you're curious, you can always follow me on Instagram. I am at Author Sherry on Instagram, and pretty much everywhere else online. If you find Author Sherry, you're probably finding me. It's funny. Have you seen that thing on Facebook going around? It's like, my name is Jennifer, but not Hudson or whatever, and kind of going through like celebrity names, like what your first name is, but you're not such and such celebrity. Like, I'm Sherry, but not Baby? Like, I don't know. Like, I have nothing. There's no other Sherrys, which is why I can steal things like Author Sherry on Instagram and Twitter, and nobody is trying to take me down for it because I'm the only one. I am the Sherry D. Ficklin. It's so funny. And when I started, I put the D in because there was another Sherry Ficklin who wrote, like, nursing journals or, like, nursing articles. And now, like, I can't even find her online anymore. She's been completely swallowed up by my nonsense. And I apologize to other Sherry Ficklin if I have disrupted your online presence. Jan says, yep, Tweety Bugs House. I like Tweety and hubby likes bugs. So, oh, yeah, that works. Jan, oh, Katie. Yeah, Katie is at Reading Transforms on Instagram. Check her out. She's got some great stuff. Reading Transforms does some cool stuff anyway. If you haven't seen her paper dress series, oh, so cool. She's a photographer and an author and a marketing guru and all things awesome. So Katie is the person to know in this town. Trust me about that. She's fabulous. Yeah, check her out. Check her out for sure. I think that's it. I think I've addressed everything for today. I'm so excited to get you guys Canary. I cannot wait. I've got Tamara Grantham is coming on next week, and I'm so excited. You guys are gonna die. She's fabulous. She's done some stuff with CTP, and she's got a new book, and so she'll be here Monday, so be sure to tune in and check her out and chat with her. Yeah, everybody's like, peace out. Oh, Katie, Sherry, I was saying the Hacker series is super easy to stylize. It's one of her favorite stylize. Oh, well, thank you. I appreciate that. I wish I had the talent for that sort of stuff. I really don't. So I'm just going to stick to writing books, and you guys stick to reading books, and everybody will be happy. That's it. I love you guys. Have a great weekend, and I will check in with you guys again next week, and hopefully we'll have some more news and goodies going on. And if you have any questions for me or anything you want me to talk about on these videos, author-related, publishing-related, just general questions, leave them in the comments here or drop me a direct message and leave them there, and I will answer as best I can. I love you guys. See you later.